Okay, guys, welcome back to another stream! Yeah, Rico's here. Don't ever say let's play Plunder in front of me. My Crico mode will activate, and I will die.
Whole tree in there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna have my mic muted for a bit.
Why?
I want to.
So are you not gonna play Warzone?
I am, I just want to have my mic muted.
It's not allowed.
Okay, I'm back.
Monster songs are written and performed by Bassett Films, who also designed the character alongside artist Vince Marquet. Bassett Films was likely approached to help with the Halloween-themed Week 2 due to his history of creepy horror animations and songs, like that of his animation, What's in the Bathtub. If you like Monster and Winter Horrorland, I definitely suggest checking out this animation, so I'll just leave a link to it down below for you to check out. The third Week 2 song, Monster, was originally scrapped being too difficult to map in time, thus making Week 2 the shortest week.
Okay, can we please play Rebirth Resurgence Squads?
Impressing Friday Night Funkin' developers. By this time, Bassett Films had already been approached to perform another song for Week 5 since his character couldn't be included in time for Week 2. In the Week 7 update, Monster was added back into Week 2 with improved animations, similar to his appearance in Week 5, minus the hat, as the original unused animations were too static and appeared to clip into itself. Bassett Films has also stated that the opening for Monster was inspired by the Beatles song Your Mother Should Know from the 1967 album Magical Mystery Tour. Monster is also the longest song on the Friday Night Funkin' soundtrack at 2 minutes and 58 seconds. At the 30-second mark of the song Winter Horrorland, there can be heard a low auditory rumble only on the left channel of the song. Fans have theorized that since Monster is standing on the left side of the room, that the grumble must be his stomach, since many of his not-so-subtle lyrics include him killing and eating boyfriend and girlfriend. Speaking of Winter Horrorland, Bassett Films...
Get yourself a proper warm-up. We'll be deploying soon.
First of which being Santa Dog 88 by the Resident.
Enemy dropping into the AR. Enemy dropping into the AR.
used for the opponent in the game files. But with the addition of the character in Week 5 and the re-addition of them in Week 7 update, simple name monster character names in the game, like girlfriend, boyfriend, daddy, mommy, you get it. Though many people refer to him as Lemon Monster or Lemon Demon when talking about him, the game and the game files have never referred to him by these names, only Monster.
Okay, so the challenge is whoever gets hold of Breath of the longest gets to choose their civilization.
Battle
first.
Royale.
And you guys are gonna go on my
Mark a
challenge.
drop point for your team. You'll lead them in. Be advised, gas is closing in. Proceed to the safe zone.
Oh my god.
Ida!
The strongest civilization in history.
Did you know? No, I'm just kidding. Skid and Pump, the childish, energetic, excitable duo.
I'm coming.
The spookiest month of the year, no matter what month it may be. So how well do you really know them?
In your AR.
Then think about Skid and Pump.
Targets are up. Get to work.
Skid and Pump originate from the Senior Payload cartoon series Spooky Month, an annual cartoon first appearing in 2018 with It's Spooky Month. Along with Skid and Pump, these cartoons are the origin of the Spooky Dance, which coincides with their idol animation in Friday Night Funkin'. The Spooky Dance is described as like you're seeing a gremlin and wanting it not to touch you by Senior Payload during the live stream, where he even performs the Spooky Dance himself. Skid and Pump are the first guest characters added to the game and weren't even teased beforehand by other guest characters. The Spooky duo ties to the Halloween themes of Week 2.
Down one.
Much how Monster isn't actually a lemon, Skid and Pump aren't actually a skeleton. Skid and Pump are children in costumes. Outside of John the background of the cartoon series. Skid is dressed in black with lines representing bones and a skull mask. Pump is dressed in black with white gloves and a pumpkin mask. Also, Pump's name was Pumpy in the original cartoon, before being shortened to just Pump for simplicity's sake. Also, the Newgrounds and YouTube versions of every Spooky Month cartoon have slightly different endings. The Spookies are guest characters from a separate series, but that isn't where the crossover ends. Boyfriend appeared in Spooky Month, Unwanted Guest, as a plushie in the store where Skid and Pump buy a Happy Fella. Speaking of plushies, Skid and Pump had their own plushies available on Ownage.com back in 2019. Unfortunately, the plushies have been sold out and have not been restocked since. Spookies and South's vocals are sung in different octaves, giving the impression to players that the two songs have different vocal samples.
Enemy dropping into the AR.
Even though this isn't the case, on Phantom Arcade's Twitter, he responded to a tweet confirming that Spookies is performed by Pump and South is performed by Skid. Composer Kawaii Sprite provides their voice for the synthesized vocals used in song to all but 4 characters: Mommy Mirrors, Tank Man, Monster, and Skid and Pump. Their voices are provided by series creator Senor Palo himself, marking them as the first characters to not be voiced by Friday Night Funkin's composer. Additionally, in the metal section of the Newgrounds release, there still exists a medal for unlocking Week 2, as the initial Newgrounds version requires you to be playing the program before you doesn't exist. Skid and Pump appear slightly different than in their respective series, as the character sprites were designed by Phantom Arcade and Evil Skater to match more closely to Friday Night Funkin's art style, as to not stick out from the rest of the game and level. Skid has fewer sets of lines around his mouth, and Pump is missing his iconic single tooth in place of fangs coming out of his mask, a more realistic pumpkin stem coming out of the top of his head, and a more lumpy mask akin to a real pumpkin. Skid and Pump were tricked by Monster into retrieving Girlfriend for him, telling the spooky duo that she's made of candy. The song Monster even alludes to this with lines like, "Hey man, I'm gonna eat your girlfriend," and "You're just a little snack, and so is your girlfriend." Also, speaking of Monster, Week 2 is now the first week to have a track added to it after its initial release, as the song was added to the official game during the Week 7 update.
Get yourself
During
a
its
proper
first
warm-up.
Newgrounds
We'll be
release,
deploying
jumping
soon.
difficulty between Weeks 1 and 2 was staggering for most players. Week 2 was notoriously difficult until update 2.5 or the Week 4 update, where the level was remapped with more difficulty appropriate. Week 2 takes place after Week 4 chronologically. Just a quick recap on the story's order as we know it. Week 1, Boyfriend meets Daddy Dearest in a rap battle. Week 3, Daddy Dearest hires Pico to kill Boyfriend, but they know each other in rap battle instead. Week 4 is when Mommy Dearest tries her hand at defeating Boyfriend and fails. Then we make it to Week 2, where Girlfriend's parents invite Boyfriend over for Halloween, where they rap battle and readers Skid and Pump for Girlfriend. Both are convinced that she's candy by some Lemonhead. They fail to bring her back. Aforementioned Lemonhead tries his hand at getting her and fails himself. The rest of Weeks 5, 6, and 7 are in chronological order as far as we know right now. The song Spookies seems to reference spooky swings from the Spooky Month of the Stars soundtrack.
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Additionally, during the song, a spooky
Enough
voice can be
practice.
heard
Time
saying,
for the real
"Trick or
thing."
treat, Smell My Feet, in reference to a poem associated with Halloween and trick-or-treating. And that's 10 things about Skeet and Pop. I hope you enjoyed. We're probably the most requested characters I've been asking to do. Thanks everyone. I love last week's 10 things done. The gun-toting, orange-haired, pupilless little ball of violence we've had the pleasure of rap battling in week 3 to a Friday Night Funk.
Be advised,
How well
gas
do you
is
really know
closing
him?
in.
Here's
Proceed
10
to
things
the
about
safe
Pico.
zone.
Pico first appeared in the Pointless
Rico.
School that premiered on Newgrounds by illustrator Tom
Bounty
Fulton in
target is up.
1999.
Let's
Though
get
its
it
original
done.
release is no longer available due to the
Enemy
updated
dropping
Flash
into the
version,
AO.
the 2006
All right,
version
lads,
is
let's
high
get it
praise
done.
as a trash classic. The original release date was shortly after the Columbine Massacre in 1999.
Rest on your shoulders. Finish the mission.
Event that sparked inspiration for its creation, as well as a few handfuls of controversy in and of itself due to the nature of the dark early internet humor the site would become known for. Pico School was originally designed to run at 24 frames per second, but due to the rise of more and more powerful computers, the 2006 release had to be painstakingly updated to accommodate, as the Flash would speed up beyond playability on more modern hardware. As it states on the current Newgrounds page for Pico School, Pico was made in Flash 3 before the introduction of variables, or just about any code for that matter, to simulate stored data, i.e. a complex web of movie clips that gave delivery to them in-game. Unfortunately, I wasn't aware of frame labels, so all the commands referred to frame numbers, making things difficult to run afterwards. Also had the Newgrounds holiday, April 30th, since the release of Pico School in 2006. Announced in February 2006, the holiday was designed to celebrate Newgrounds'
They
have me zeroed.
Real cash prizes were being given out for 10 Flash submissions during Pico Day, ranging from $2,000 to $50. The prize pool would total over $4,000 in the first year and only go up in subsequent years. Many high-profile users of the site would also meet up to party on Pico Day at the Newgrounds office, as mentioned in Sleepycast, a podcast composed of many of the aforementioned users. April 30th also happens to be character creator and Newgrounds founder Tom Fulp's birthday. An ongoing joke in Newgrounds is the release of an official sequel to Pico School, simply referred to as Pico 2. Though development of a long-awaited sequel has been teased many times by Tom Fulp, the game has never come to fruition. The Friday Night Funkin' Kickstarter even references this joke at their 5 million stretch goal, saying they'll remake Pico School 1 and finish Pico School 2 in HD to put the game. Pico has appeared in over 100 Flash games from 2009. And Newgrounds Rumble, a fighting game composed of Newgrounds mascots. According to the character profile of Pico's world, Pico has untreated schizophrenia and homicidal tendencies, resulting in him always being armed out of fear of being attacked. This likely manifests in Pico's School and subsequent Flash rolling over into Friday Night Funkin' as part of his character. The vocals for characters are sampled from real voice actors pronouncing vowels before being changed into a form of vocoder. The synthesized voice acting for Friday Night Funkin' Pico is very similar sounding to a voice in the song Endless Handbag by LHM, which was the Newgrounds site theme song in 1998.
Enemy soldier incoming.
Don't make me regret that save.
Made to sound very similar. Additionally, the 8 seconds you heard
Takes
the
out
song
one of mine.
is for the song Pico.
Enough practice. Time for the real thing.
He's also the only character to have a song. He started as a fan rumor developer from Go Back and Forth on. Pico has been confirmed as boyfriend's ex-boyfriend. Hence why he didn't kill boyfriend in Week 3. Additionally, in the April Flash Pico School Love Conquers All, Pico states that his boyfriend is his boyfriend. This is referenced in Week 7 as Tankman describes him as boyfriend's sexually ambiguous, angry little friend. The Week 2 song Blammed is named after the
Set a
Newgrounds
drop
character
point for your
Blammed.
team, soldier.
During the rating process of a newly uploaded
Be
Newgrounds
advised,
game,
gas is
the
closing
users have the
in. Proceed to the safe zone.
rating between 0 and 5 to make the best performance. Everyone can tell over the rating score of 0 or 1 means the project gets completely removed from the site, or banned. Pico's favorite weapons are automatics like MAC-10s, Uzis, and M16.
Eliminate all targets in the AO.
Pico is also depicted dual-wielding Uzis, but in Week 3, he's only holding one as the other gets holding the mic. Week 7, however, he is again building his preferred weapon while taking out Tankman. I personally find this funny since Tankman replaced Pico as the Newgrounds mascot, so in my head canon it kind of makes sense that he wants to like kill them in droves. Pico was announced as a future playable character in the original Friday Night Funkin' teaser trailer, alongside Tankman, Cassette Girl, and Hank J. Wimbledon. Within the game's XML file contains codes pertaining to him being playable, as well as unused animations existing in his sprite sheet. Through the game's debug menu, Pico can replace Boyfriend as the player character, but the voice does not change. And that's 10 things about Pico. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more videos in this fashion,
Go Pico, go Pico. Go Pico, go.
I've got moderate to severe plaque psoriasis. Now, there's Sky Rizzy.
Tankman, you know him, the monochrome mascot of everyone's favorite Week 7 hosting site Newgrounds. The monotone, quick-witted, joke-slinging soldier perusing their way through the wasteland. But how well do we really know them? Here's 10 things about Tankman. Tankman series was first created in 2006 by Newgrounds user Johnny Utah, who also provides his voice for the characters. That's right, characters.
Being tracked by an
every
enemy
single
team.
one of
Stay
their
sharp.
voices is provided by
In
Johnny
their sight.
Utah in the flagship series, regardless of faction. The series follows the adventures of Sergeant John Captain and his friend Steve during their adventures in the post-apocalyptic hellscape, populated only by other factions of Tankmen. Inspired by movies like Mad Max, the now iconic appearance of the orange sepia wasteland, contrasting with the black and white characters on the foreground, reflects these inspirations. The original Tankman was commissioned and designed in 2000 by Andrew Brazina at the request of Newgrounds founder Tom Fulp. It didn't become a character until the redesign by Johnny Utah in 2006, who updated the logo alongside the animated series he would produce as a sort of test of skill in order
You've
to
got
the
gas
Newgrounds
moving
team.
in.
There's only 4 episodes long. The Tankman series would spawn its own collection of homages and parodies that kept the spirit of the series alive for years.
Bounty target has been marked. Kill him.
Tankman was teased in the original Friday
Enemy
Night Funkin'
UAV
teaser
overhead.
trailer as a future playable character next to Pico, Cassette Girl, and Hank J. Wimbledon. Tankman also had character icons in the game's files even before his release in the Week 7 update. But this, Inner Pump are the first Newgrounds character to be added to the game as they align more closely with the
Loadout drop headed your way.
The title of the first song
Nice kill.
is a reference to a phrase that has become a catchphrase for Tankman creator Johnny Utah. Online, Johnny Utah, or Jeff, suffers involuntary growth of displeasure, resulting in
Enemy
the
UAV
phrase,
overhead.
Jeff, that's me. It's me, Chris. Hawaii Sprite really enjoyed a sample that was provided by Johnny Utah and based an entire song around it. Additionally, the song has reached over 7 million views on YouTube and reached the trending page even before Week 7 was added to the game. And then the Tankman says,
Enemy
in the song,
soldier
it's an
incoming.
up note and plays a custom animation. When Pico saves the day before the song Stress, Tankman asks him, don't you have a school to shoot up? Pico defends his school
Loadout
from
drop headed
interdimensional
your way.
rockets. The nod to the fact that both
RCXD
Tankman
and
and
the
Pico
AR.
are original Tankman would also be aware that Pico defended his school from interdimensional attackers as opposed to attacking.
There's work to do.
Gas is moving in. New safe zone located. 24 enemies still out there. Kill them all.
When developers are discussing whether or not to tease the next song.
Well, not even. I think you wanna post the very first.
Play more fast.
Oh no.
Tankman creator Johnny Utah had a hand in Friday Night Funkin's development even before Tankman was added. He redesigned the Friday Night Funkin' logo and custom animations in Week 6's pixel art style. Basically, all the assets that developed for Week 6 was Phantom Arcade would send Mowling the Roughs in the original designs, then they would create them in the 16-bit style, and then they would get passed on to Johnny Utah for the animation. The time between the release of Week 6 and Week 7 has been the longest wait thus far pre-Kickstarter. Most likely
Time's up. Objective fire.
quality of life additions, the re-edition of certain limited characters, and the fact that Tankman is the first character to have fully animated cutscenes. Tankman came out
Enemy
at the same
UAV
time
overhead.
Friday Night Funkin' full-ass game Kickstarter launched, so developers would use it this week to showcase what they wanted to do with the full game they were funding. Week 7 also
Rico, you
added
can
a
come up
non-filter
now.
option to remove the, well, naughty parts of the new cutscenes. This is in the editing bay. It does nothing. Right now it does nothing. I didn't even realize.
Rico,
Tankman is the first
Enemy UAV
you can go up
overhead.
now and you're safe.
There are also a few insults still unused, as heard in Hawaii Sprite Newgrounds post of Jeff Week 7.
Hostiles dropping into the area. Watch the skies.
Made up by Johnny
Oh, he's
Utah
not
himself.
safe.
Sustaining fire.
Garbage truck into your girlfriend's face. Make her more attractive.
Go take a nap in your crib. People are drawing me. You're goddamn right, I'm angry.
There was a Newgrounds contest to compose a theme song for the, at the time, Dynamic Tank. The user Arbiter's submission was chosen as the winner, and though it's credited
You've got
to
gas
Tankman
moving in.
1.5, the theme song has never been used in the official cartoon. Only other users haven't come out yet due to Jeff feeling like he isn't being challenged creatively
Check your fire,
in the
pendejo.
series, even adding to the parodies of Tankman. The animation relies heavily on tweening, a method of generating in-between frames in an animation to give the impression of movement through morphing and moving an object or image
Get to the
from one
safe zone.
place to another. Though this method is useful and often used in modern animations, it isn't as challenging as other forms of creating movement in cartoons, and can make the animator feel
You're the
something
last one on your
desired.
team.
And
Finish
that's
the job.
10 things about Tankman I hope you enjoyed. Shout out to everyone asking for Tankman. Believe it or not, I do read the comments, so if you want to see someone I haven't covered yet, feel free to let me know down below. Thanks again for watching.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Alright.
Enemy UAV overhead.
Pokemon Trading Card Games Battle Academy is a gateway to enter a new world of Pokemon. A world of new challenges.
There's killing
got
to be
you.
done.
friends, and new opportunities.
Okay, get your loot,
Hostile dropping into the area. Watch the sky.
and then we're running. Get some armor.
You've got gas inbound. Safe zone relocation. Fire zone is active. Buy station costs are adjusted. I'm hit. Victory rests on your shoulders. Finish the mission. Friendly RCXD in the AO.
The controls are different from mobile, so
Fire cell done. Prices are back to normal.
This thing would drive normally.
Enemy dropping into the AO. Gas is closing in.
I downed one up top, by the way.
it's right here.
I'm hit. I'm hit.
God, he didn't see me! Don't worry, I'm coming back. Please stay alive. Someone that I used to know.
In their sights.
Hers broke, so now she's using mine.
Circle.
Yes. Yeah.
Honestly, man, I'd say go and get the head start to the surf.
Less than 25. Still
Yeah, I
standing.
knew it. I knew it. I would've. Yeah, you. Go, Miko. Go, 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 Miko.
Humans. They all look alike, but they each have their own individual personalities. Housebroken is a show about...
Welcome to Two Left Thumbs. My name's Graham, and this is more Friday Night Funkin' secrets, Easter eggs, and references. The plan was to release these videos in months, covering 4 weeks at a time, but with the recent Kickstarter launch, free content updates are going to be much more sporadic. Instead, I'll hammer out weeks 4 to 7 now, and potentially sit tight for the full game to release. We'll have to see what the release schedule is like in the coming months. With that Kickstarter going viral, the game is already guaranteed up to 30 weeks and might end up closer to 35 or even 45. plus an erect difficulty remix of every song. But I do empathize with Kawaii Sprite with all the work they have ahead of them. Here's a cool new Easter egg right off the bat. If you now hold either right or left in the title screen, it'll roll through different red, blue, green color transitions. It's incredibly satisfying to play around with. Random fun fact, that was one of the top comments on the last video. The creators have confirmed that the name of the game is definitely meant to be an innuendo. Boyfriend is trying to get lucky once a week, and people keep getting in the way, which makes a lot more sense of the blue balls fail screens. There is also an alternate game over screen that has a 1 in 1,000 chance of appearing. It's made to look like the fail screens of Guitar Man instead. A game that was a heavy inspiration for the developers, especially a friend of theirs, Wanda Boy, who themselves actually drew the head of Boyfriend in this Guitar Man tribute. Before getting into new things, I need to include a few small things I missed or that felt underexplored in the previous video. Number 1, I need to correct myself for Sir Pilo. Week 2 added battles against Skid and Pump, which come from Sir Pilo's Spooky Month series. I read it as such, not realizing that creator is Spanish. It should be read as Senor Pelo, which is Spanish for Mr. Hair. So my apologies to them, especially for butchering their name like that. Yikes. Although honestly, the number of people correcting me on that in the comments likely gave the video an algorithm boost. So feel free to correct me on anything else I get wrong or mispronunciate. Apparently it does the video wonders. I also want to take a minute to explain the whole Philly and Philly Nice confusion. There's a bunch of wild theories out there that one of them has to do with B-sides and other random guesses like that. They are just one song, and there's a reason for it. Cam recently revealed on Twitter that he simply hadn't coded spaces into their font library yet, so the song was shortened to Philly in-game, while the full track was indeed still Philly Nice. You can even see in old footage where Dad Battle would be written out with no spaces, and up until then it was only those two songs that had spaces in them, so it was an infrequent issue. Philly Nice must have just looked weird written out. Philly Nice. Philly Nice. Philly Nice. He also revealed a fun little detail that the song was first titled Long Time Intro, as in Long Time No See, since Pico and Boyfriend hadn't dated in a long time. Good reminder for everyone. Yes, we have one here somewhere. A little white cocktail or shooter game. Dead State, being developed by non-horror labs and published by Team of Nuts, is coming to Steam later this year. That game is playing now. The best thing you can do to help us out. You can do that wish list. Posts it within Steam. It makes it more likely for them to recommend it internally and start promoting it to other users. Then that growth becomes more organic and hopefully snowballs from there. You guys have been great so far. Keep it going. I'll talk more about it at the end of the video. We have the addition of new preloader gags. I won't relist all those old ones again. Don't play Rust. We only thumbed in. Goodbye, my penis. The baby. Biggest inspiration. I honestly don't know if they are fans of the baby or if they're making fun of the guy. My understanding is he kind of got famous on TikTok, so maybe they legitimately are inspired by the viral way in which he springboarded his own career. I truly don't know. There are 2 fashionably late, but here it is, and updates each Friday, on time, every time. Both just making fun of the fact that they long ago did away with the pretense of weeks happening in real time. Yo! Yo! Pico funny, Pico funny. My understanding is that this is what people thought was being said in an early line of Boyfriend is in Pico song battles. And now it's become a bit of a catchphrase. People say it in Ninja Muffins Twitch all the time. Shoutouts to Mason, or to Homies, which is one of the developer's young cousin who was telling his classmates that he was related to the creator of Friday Night Funkin'. They didn't believe Mason, and so as a fun little shoutout to him, this was added into the game. Bonk, get in the Discord call. I don't know specifically what Bonk is. It's a bit of an inside joke, I assume. Somebody sucks at spenders are part of history now. Building off all those obvious PlayStation 1 influences, the way they kind of grounded the game's marketing in that, both real and fake marketing, they promised a PlayStation 1 port at the $3 million mark. I just love the commitment to that. It's not really a bit. That just seems like their own love letter to what appears to be their greatest influence. The second highest, $5 million, comes with a promise to remake Pico School and create the unfinished sequel. There has been like a 20-plus year long saga on Newgrounds, with the original Pico School dating back to 1999, and teases of a sequel coming sporadically.
Some fans love the taste of freezing cold Pop-Tarts bites. And some just really like that clicking sound.
Ever since, it's become more of a meme and a running joke on Newgrounds than anything real anymore. I may or may not be planning a video on the very subject for the near future, so hold tight and I'll be able to unravel more of that history for you soon. And at the highest level, $10 million is a nightmare alternate universe, followed by a bunch of wigging out in the text description. I guess it's kind of just poking fun at people who obsess over that sort of fan content, or that's them literally just losing their mind over the fact that their game managed to raise $10 million. A simple one in the rewards section. Boyfriend and girlfriend are decked out in gold and jewels, and boyfriend is holding a trophy which could potentially be a riff on the daily or weekly trophies of Newgrounds, but it also has the Newgrounds classic anger face on the cover. How about some more unused content and joke additions through the updates? In version 0.2.1, they added a line to the source code that literally just said, added Easter eggs, as a gag for people like us who go digging for that sort of thing. Something I didn't look enough at before, the Demon Henchmen in Week 4 have a few unused assets, including what appears to be a single frame where they probably would have been nailing down the design before they committed to animating and shading the whole thing. And that single image is simply titled dumb.png, leading many to think that these guys were the Dumbs or some similar title like that. But the actual in-game characters are titled Limo Dancer and Limo Driver. Phantom Arcade provided some behind the scenes of developing these character designs. He was first and foremost inspired by Quiet Sprite's own musical inspiration of the week, specifically citing Bobby Brown's Every Little Step music video. So I was wrong about them being specifically MC Hammer, although Bobby Brown is definitely a contemporary of that same genre and era of music. Visually, he also pulled from this old Matt Knight McDonald's ad, presumably the sunglasses, the style of Powerline from a Goofy movie, and the overall demonic appearance of Dabura from Dragon Ball Z. I love seeing artistic cross-sections like this that result in something totally unique. The game files also have this leftover design that has a much more obviously Powerline-influenced hairstyle. These henchmen also had leftover art for gruesome dismemberment as they collide with the lampposts, but that was cut for time. It was instead added with the large Week 7 update, having them all smash to bits at the end of the showdown instead of throughout. Sharing more artistic behind-the-scenes stuff, because I personally find it fascinating. Girlfriend is apparently inspired by the Rhythm Heaven Girl, which makes a lot of sense in hindsight, especially that standard red dress. And we saw a set of progress pics showing how Phantom first threw Mom, explaining that all of his designs then passed Naval Skater to get his take on it, before circling back to him for final polish. I just love how awkward
broken.
Definitely has some nice looks. You can't beat Boyfriend's rapping skills. The song itself has a more calm approach to it, almost as if Boyfriend and Senpai are confessing their love to Girlfriend at the same time. The lore is probably my favorite part of the song, which, don't get me wrong, it's really catchy. I just don't think it lives up to everything else in a musical sense. 18. Winter Horrorland.
Let me help you take it off.
That's right, real words in this one. The tempo for this song is fairly slow. It actually has a very Tim Burton sort of feel to it. However, the lyrics are pretty disturbing with lines like, separate you from your eyes, turn your girlfriend inside out and burn her fingernails. Ugh. Even though the direction of this musical style is so different from everything else, it still fits perfectly with the game. Its edginess resides with the other musical pieces. 17. Spookies. Week 2's big hook is the introduction to Skid and Pump, which, funny enough, are characters that originate from Sir Palo's Halloween-themed videos. What's even cooler is the voices for Skid and Pump are voiced by Sir Palo himself. The music has more of a horror tone to them, which is a nice change of pace. But at the same time, I feel like it doesn't fit as well with the punk-esque sound of everything else. 16. Game Over.